Hey there, this is Chris and Eli from Landlord Gurus. And recently we spoke about one of my tenants who was having issues with cleanliness and sanitation and hazards in his apartment. And we briefly touched on the subject of moisture and mold and mildew and the dangers that those present. But I think we will talk about that more in this video here. So Eli, we'll take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I've had a fair bit of experience with remodeling and building. So I've gone through quite a bit in terms of what one can do with moisture in a building. So anyway, first off, a touch just generally on what the issues are. Surface mildew or mold, especially if it's on kind of a higher gloss paint, is not terrible if it's dealt with. But the longer that type of thing is left, the more it'll damage the finishes, it'll stain, is then difficult to paint over. You have to cover it with a sealer, you have to a primer again before you repaint. And then, it can become a health issue as well. And some people are terribly allergic to mold. So that can run into all kinds of costly repairs and people not being able to be in their places. So you got to deal with it. And as we touched on with Chris, with his tenant who was not very clean or sanitary, you've got to have a good lease. You have to have good clauses within that lease that deal with these issues. So, Chris, I think you said you used Easy Landlord forms, or you took a look at the Easy Landlord forms to see what clauses there or what notices there were to deal with issues like this, right?
Yeah, they have various notices, and you can select what state you're in, and it will display the notices that are relevant to you, specific to your state, and they're all lawyer reviewed. So yeah, in this case, I needed a 10-day comply or vacate, and so they've got all of that, as well as other notices that you need if you want to do an inspection, which briefly touched on last time, but you do have to give notice. And so that, they got all kinds of stuff that you can either purchase, or some are free, or you can just subscribe to a lifetime subscription so that you always have them.
Yeah, and as you viewers might be able to tell, they're a partner of ours. There are other services that provide a similar set of forms that are all updated. Avail is one. They're a partner as well. We write about all kinds of them and the reasons to have a strong lease and good notices, because you really got to do things by the book. So anyway, and a plug there. Now, the main thing I would watch out for or take care of in terms of ventilation, mildew, moisture in the building is actually the ventilation that's in there. Bathroom fans and kitchen fans are really important. So in some places it's really difficult, but it's worth an effort to get them venting out. And with the forms for Seattle, for example, we need to give the tenants an actual information packet or sheet on what mold is, how it happens, and what to do about it. And then there's another form to say it's your responsibility to take care of this and notify us if it's happening. So essentially the responsibility is on the tenant to not to allow moisture issues to happen in their unit. So having the right forms is really important, no matter where you get them, that are up to date. And one other element on ventilation there is that I've started to put motion or moisture detecting switches in, automatic switches. So I've removed switches, like I just did it in a laundry room, and put a moisture sensor in there. So that fan always goes on when the moisture becomes, an elevated level. So, and then in newer buildings, I put actual fans in that are moisture and or motion detecting. And I've disabled the motion detecting, because if you got it moisture detecting, it runs as long as as long as you need it to, and the tenant doesn't leave and turn the fan off, which is what anybody's likely to do. So
right, exactly.
Anyway, yeah, but
well, I think one thing that especially in our area here, where it's pretty wet often, and it gets cold, and I know in my case, I've got tenants who like to seal up, the building when it's cold out, right? And close all the windows, close all the doors, but then they don't run the fans and they cook, and things just get wet inside. And so I do have to send a reminder probably every winter at the start of the winter, saying, here's some steps you have to take to keep your place ventilated.
Interesting. Yeah.
Know that it's cold, but you may have to turn the fan on, or you may have to open windows.
Yeah. That's a good practice to be in. So one of those many things to stay on top of. So.
Yep.
Another thought is how to prevent leaks. So Chris, I don't know, have you ever had a water heater go on you?
In my house.
Yeah, I've had a number of them in rental units, and one of them happened to be on a second story, so right above another apartment. So that was a problem, and the bad was on me because I hadn't replaced the water heater when the manufacturer said the water heater should be replaced. It was probably 17 years instead of 15. And they mean it these days. Yeah, it's not going to last longer. They don't build it to last longer. So as painful as it is, you have to stay on top of that thing, of that type of thing. So, and a draining pan is a good idea too. That drains to outside so it doesn't end up, flooding. Another measure that I've just started playing with, and I have it in my home, but it's a leak detector that goes under my sink, and it's got a little alarm that goes off if it's sitting on the bottom of the cabinet, and it goes off if there's any water there. Some of them now have apps, so you get a notification even if you're not there.
Not home. Yeah.
So we write about some of these things. One of our best resources, I think, is an article that we wrote on managing rental property maintenance using property management software, because there's a lot in there aside from all the other benefits of applications and screening and automated leases and all that, where it becomes a hub of communication around maintenance, and you can bring vendors in and have communication all in one place. You can set reminders for inspections and all that type of thing. So that's a good one. And then we've done a 3-part series on rental maintenance checklist. So, and one of them is on plumbing. There's electrical and HVAC and pest control, and it's all broken down into 3. So we'll link to those, and
you can download those checklists so you can have it offline and print
right,
it out.
right. I'll tell you, it's thorough. I put pretty much everything in there, but so it'll take some work to follow it all, but it's all good practice and can save you trouble. So
it does. And when you think about it, your rental properties are very expensive investments, and you want those to last for a long time. So
yeah, $1,000 water heater can turn into many $1,000 repair job. So yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, good. Well, thanks for all that knowledge that you unloaded on us. And, I think it's all good that we need to be reminded of that. Even I need to be reminded of that, on a regular basis. So it's good. Thank you. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel, Landlord Gurus. And we'll be back again with our next installment.
Thanks for watching.